Guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Guys, today we'll be checking out how anyone, including you, including me, can read German. Okay, this is from Bubbles, and without further ado, let's dive right in and check this out.
This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Oh, Squarespace. Okay.
This one's for lovers of English as much as lovers of German.
Okay.
German is hard.
Yes.
Learning it means studying an array of rules, mastering 3 grammatical genders, and knowing whether you're using the nominative, accusative, genitive, or dative.
Oh.
But in this video, we're ignoring all of that.
Okay.
I'm going to give you some simple tricks that are going to help your chances of understanding the German words written in front of you, whether they're on a billboard, a menu, or in a movie. By the end, be able to decipher this gibberish to the untrained eye into something that any English speaker will be able to understand. No prior German knowledge required. Even if you don't want to learn German, do keep watching though, because the reasons why these tricks work tell us a lot about our own language. German and English have history.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So let's get that mystery document back
Okay.
up. The key to decoding this is mainly going to lie in swapping letters in and out to make these words look more like English. I go into exactly why it's possible and what it's got to do with all of these guys later, but the key point is that English and German are part of the same language family. They share a common ancestor that they both developed from, and by retracing that development, you can find consistencies in how they differ. So for example, where English developed a th sound in certain words, German went off in a slightly different direction and ended up with a d sound instead. So where English has 3, German has drei. Where English has thunder, German has Donner. English thing is German ding. And where English has the, German has seemingly endless numbers of words of various genders and cases, all of which basically mean the and begin with D. And while we're here, actually,
go back. So
German has seemingly endless numbers of words of various genders and cases.
For der, German has der, das, die, dem, des. Yeah, there are plenty.
All of which basically mean the and begin with D. While we're here, actually, German has du and dein, which are 2 words that have the same ancestry as the age-old English words thou and thine. So there's our first trick. Swapping the D in a German word for TH can very often get you closer to the English equivalent. Now, linguistically speaking, the D sound is very similar to the T sound. The processes in our mouths to produce these sounds are extremely similar. Just a tiny tweak makes a T a D. And that's why you can also often swap a German T sound with TH as well, particularly in the middle or at the end of words like Mutter, which is mother, and Wert, which is worth. This similarity between T and D sounds also opens up another letter swap opportunity, this time between the 2 languages. German T's can often be swapped for English D's. Take a look at these pairs. Dream, daughter, and dear all have German equivalents beginning with T. T is actually the German word for animal, but that is precisely what deer originally meant in English before we decided to make it mean one animal in particular. In fact, the Dutch word for animal is still deer. Dutch very often provides a satisfying midpoint between German and English. A bit like it does geographically, I suppose. Now back to German. The D swap works elsewhere in some words too. Check out under and Lieder becoming unter and Leiter. Incidentally, Leiter also means ladder. It's all D's and T's again. Now while we're throwing T's around, that reminds me of another good swap. This time, instead of taking the T's out, we're going to slip them in the place of the S sound made by either 1 or two S's. Check out how neatly German Wasser becomes English water.
Water.
The German word for what is was.
Was?
And if you apply two of our tricks to German das, you get
das.
its English equivalent, that.
So that.
And that, incidentally, in Old English, like das does in German, was the neuter version of the. So it works then as well. And another bonus fact, there are actually some German dialects that use that and dat with a T at the end instead of an S, as does our friend from the Low Countries, Dutch.
That's
and let's bring in that most Germanic of characters, this fat, wiggly fellow, the SZ. Although its name literally means SZ or SZ, it actually replaces a double S. So if you see it, sub in a double S, then try swapping it with a T. For example, German Fuss becomes English foot, with a bit of imagination applied to the vowels. Now let's fling some more T's around, because adding a T can also help us solve all of these words. By subbing it in for the ts sound, usually expressed in German with a Z, we can get much closer to the English two, this time the number, and tongue. And there are plenty of others.
Pronouncing it
Right, more of these to come, but I realise it's a lot to take in with all of these consonants flying around. I've become somewhat consonant incontinent, haven't I? So,
yes, guys, wait. Let's pause a minute. I know this is gradual process, but it's kind of confusing again. Like in the middle, it's confusing because is it? Does that Z you? Then it's two. Then guys, let's continue. Please, if you can teach German very well, come and teach me, please. I really need to learn. Please help me. Come and teach me.
Let's take a break to understand why these tricks work when they do, which I admit is not 100% of the time, but the hit rate is really good. We'll get to the cool reason just as soon as I've introduced you to this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace empowers individuals to create their online web presence or launch their passion project. I created my own website using Squarespace, and it was really simple. It's cleverly designed to enable you to easily move things around and change the look of your pages. There are also powerful analytics tools to tell you who is visiting your site and from where. Someone visited mine from Vietnam. And if your passion project involves setting up shop online, Squarespace can help you do that, including selling merchandise. And that reminds me, we need to come up with some good ideas for some t-shirts. So head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/robwords to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So earlier I said our translation tricks had something to do with all of these guys. Well, what did I mean? Well, what do Rapunzel, Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood and others have in common? The answer is that they're all fairy tales featured in the collections of Germany's famous Brothers Grimm, Wilhelm and Jakob. By the way, brother is another word that our tricks work on, because you can just swap the D in the middle of Bruder in German for a TH, and you basically get one. Anyway, Jakob here is our hero, because as well as working with seinem Bruder to bring together and reimagine European fairy tales, he was also a prolific linguist. So I mentioned earlier how English and German are from the same language family, the Germanic languages. In fact, more specifically, they're both Western Germanic languages. And Jakob Grimm was one of the driving forces behind an ingenious theory about how Germanic languages developed together, known as Grimm's Law. Long, long ago, probably in the first millennium BC, the Germanic languages went through a consonant shift that moved their consonant sounds away from those of Proto-Indo-European. That's the ancient ancestor Germanic languages share with other language families like the Romance languages, the Celtic languages, Slavic languages, and others like Sanskrit, for example. But the language that became modern High German, which is the most widely spoken form of German and the one we're talking about, went through an extra consonant shift that other Germanic languages, like English, did not. That left German with different consonant sounds to English, but those differences are remarkably consistent, and that's why we can often swap them in and out and get from one language to the other. So now you know the theory, let's get on to some more tricks. Another way that English and German diverge from one another is with the sounds p and f. And it means that a lot of sounds in German written with an F, a double F, or PF, f, can be swapped with a P to get you closer to the English. For example, German Pfeffer is English pepper. Pfeifer is pipe. They're both double whammies. But German auf has the same linguistic root as English up, and German Hoffe is English hope. There are so many of these as well. Schiff and ship, Apfel and apple. This one really does work. So remember, when the English...
So wait guys, the problem is that they don't have only one. Like, for that P now, they have P, they have PE, they have PF. So when you now use the different P's, like for now pepper, well, let's go back.
And German Hoffe.
Okay, this Hoffe now, H-O.
English hope. There are so many of these as well.
F-F.
And ship, apf.
This one now is FF for sheep, whereas this one right here is PE for apple. So the same P, but FF, PF, EE, PE. So different consonants, not even one. If it's one, okay, we'll say we're using this particular word. If it's only one E, okay, we're using one E to replace P. But this one, they are up to 4. How are we going to learn exactly the one to use?
Apple and apple. This one really does work. So remember, when the English P, the Germans F.
F.
Now the next swap is a piece of cake, or in German, ein Stück Kuchen. You can often sub this CH in a German word for a K and get closer to the English, like Kuchen and cake. Also German so Machen is English make, although it also means do as well. Suchen is related to English seek, and a German Buch is an English book. And again, actually, once you do these swaps, you basically get to the Dutch version of these words. Check out Machen. So Dutch viewers can feel free to use these cheats with your own language too. German Ich becomes Dutch ich, both of which mean I, and incidentally, Old English for I, as in me, was ich, or something like it. My pronunciation of Old English is always dreadful. Anyway, that's all a Dutch distraction, because I was just going to point out that German words that begin with a K often have an English equivalent beginning with C. Cake is a good example of that one as well. A German Kuh is a cow. Kreuz is a cross, and lots of others are really obvious, like Kultur and culture. You're unlikely to struggle with ones like that.
And the pronunciation is different.
Yes. Hanging out at the end of the alphabet are W and Y. And they hold the key to another couple of handy switcheroos you can do. We're going to try swapping them in for German G's. Let's take the German word Tag. So we already know what to do with the T. We're swapping it for a D, aren't we? Remember, dream and daughter. And now let's try, as I just suggested, removing the G and putting in a Y.
Day.
We end up with day. What's the German for day?
Tag.
It's Tag. Another fascinating historical fact, the Old English word for day was this.
Day.
Notice anything? It has a G at the end, although it was actually pronounced more like a Y. It was something like die. Again, my Old English is dreadful. Anyway, some more G and Y swaps. German Weg is English way. German sagen is English say. And if the Y doesn't work, just give a W a go. German Bogen is English bow.
Bow.
Oh, and I've just thought of another good one.
The
Actually, a lot
EN.
of B's in German are V's in English. Take a look at the German words for live and indeed for liver. Also to
Leben
give, which is
and
geben,
liver.
and to
Geben.
stick things together is kleben, which is a relative
Kleben.
of English cleave.
Kleben.
Cleave is a fascinating word because it can both mean to separate and to put together. Have you ever noticed that? Little doggy. Had enough of these yet? Well, don't make me stop before I get to my triple letter score trick.
No.
C.
Please stop. We really need to rest. Okay. We need to go on a break. Clever. Leben. Live. Oh, they are different. Going over to the next word. The fourth is the new words replaces the old ones in the brain. You.
HT.
Okay,
German words
CHT.
containing CHT often have a similar English word with GHT
like
instead.
fight.
I give you light, both in the sense of the shiny stuff and the stuff that's easy to lift.
Okay, light.
I also give you night,
Not.
and sight. And there are others.
Sight.
Ones to watch out for, though. Nicht means not
Nicht.
rather than night. And you wouldn't be blamed for thinking a knecht was a knight, but
Yes.
it isn't. A knecht is a servant. But in my defence, the words are related. The English knights saw themselves as servants to their sovereign.
Ooh.
Right. Or should that be Richt? Actually, a German judge is a Richter, and they oversee the administration of Recht. So I think that one sort of counts. Anyway, right. Those are all the tools you need to be a consonant trickster. So let's put them to the test and bring back this from earlier. And if you hadn't already worked out what
you know
this
this
is,
letter now. Okay, letter should be T is left. Okay. This is long. And should we say that right here, this English over here is big O. It's not a small one. It's not this small one that he's showing us. I is ick or light is lacking, something like that. This one is way more. But let's try and read it.
let's work our magic on the T and swap it for a D
Okay.
and a G for a Y, and we get something very close to day's menu.
Day's
this is
menu.
a menu of the day's specials. So,
Okay.
what's for starters? Cremige Karottensuppe. Well, already we see that we can do another G and Y swap in the first word, and we get much closer to the English word creamy. And then we can swap the K at the start of the next word with a C, although I suspect you'd already worked that one out. This is creamy carrot soup. Und is just German for and if you need any help with the last word, swap the T at the end for a D, and you can work out that that's bread.
Bread.
The next word is a bit tricky. You probably already know what a schnitzel is, a delicious breaded cutlet. But what about the start of the word, though? Well, swap the K with a C and the B with a V, and you get calves. Does that look like any English word to you? How about calves? Kalb is the German for veal, the meat of a young cow.
Okay,
A calf.
A calf.
Meat is just the German for with, and we came across Pfeffer earlier. It's our double whammy P swap, giving us pepper.
Pepper.
And sauce is conveniently the English spelling. There is a German word for sauce that is extremely similar, but the English, or rather French spelling is also used.
Sauce.
Onto our dessert.
So
it's apple cake. The PF
Pepper
again
sauce.
swapped for a P gives us an apple. Then swapping the K for a C and the CH for a K gets us close enough to cake to work it out, like we did earlier on. And then finally...
Guys, wait. It's not entering again. It's not entering. It's not entering again. This other one, swapping. Now, this other one now, the sauce now, it not swap the S. So you select the one you swap and leave the other one. This swapping is confusing.
Drink, you actually have a choice of coffee or water. If we swap the K for a C and that double S for a T, although I'm sure the waiter will let you have both if you ask nicely enough. So that's the full menu, and there we have it. What I've basically given you there is a lesson on Germanic consonant shift, dressed up as some top tips for translating German, but they really do work a lot of the time. If you've enjoyed this, I've done a similar thing with French. Or check out my guide to the dictionary's darkest secret, ghost words. Hit like and subscribe, and share this with someone who may find it useful. I'll see you in one of my other videos in a sec. Hey?
Bye. You guys, okay, this is not easy at all. This is not simple. It is not. I bet you. This is not simple for me. So guys, if you can teach German, please, can you come and teach me? Because right now, what is swapping? Swap K for C or swap C for H? No, for swap P for F. Perfand, all this, the swapping. So there are some you swap and some you leave like that. Guys, I know you understand all these things. So I know you understand because it's already your language. But we non-Germans, at least his method is better. It's a bit easier. A bit easier. Then what about these German words? Let's say what's it called? A box of matches. Box of matches. Which one do you swap? Because box, B-O-X, there's no swapping in that one. Matches. Okay, you can swap this T to CH. The CH to T, yeah? So that would be box of matches. Box of matches. But it's not box of matches in Germany. There's one long word that is up to 24 in Germany. But I don't remember that word. So guys, please teach me Germany. And what do you have to say about this video? Perhaps they deserve, and we'll keep living on that for my blessings. See you guys in the next video. Or see you in the comment section.